as a community interested in trees and forests. While we're planting many trees each year, many do not survive. Do you have a plan to increase the survival of trees planted? And do you have a plan to increase the total urban tree canopy of Fayetteville, which is well below the national average of 35%?
My first? Yeah, and a lot of the trees that we planted, great effort, but they were planted in people's yards. They didn't take care of them. They died. I drive through neighborhoods and I see just stands of dead young trees that we spent a lot of money on that weren't watered in the drought. So my idea would be, instead of putting them out on the edges of the city, I'm talking about within 50 feet of the city limits, plant our trees down here on thoroughfares where we can all enjoy them. If people have subdivisions and they have yards and they want trees, I welcome them to put trees in. But if the city, the taxpayer puts a tree in there and they don't take care of it, what have we accomplished? I would rather put them in places where we can all enjoy the beauty and we can take care of them, where we know they're going to have a foothold. They need to be watered for 3 years. Any new tree needs to be watered for at least 3 years, especially in the droughts that we have. Our tree canopy, we had, when I was in office, we had roughly just under 700 acres of new parkland, green space, and environmental area to the city's inventory. Not all of it owned by the city, but the vast majority of it owned by the city, and some of it owned by private conservation groups. So there's a wetland, I hope there's a question about wetlands, because this is something that's very important. Tree canopy is very important, but our wetlands have, they're really important as well. And we have the potential for, I call it a wetland perpetual motion machine, because there are ways that we can use the Woolsey Wet Prairie wetland credits that we have there, sell the credits to the highway department, for example, when they need to buy credits. These credits are very expensive. Use those credits to buy more land, perhaps the land down here at Wilson Springs, the 120 acres that's sitting in the valley that needs to be redeveloped. And then redevelop that land, develop more credits, sell those credits, buy some more land, redevelop that. So this is something that needs to be done, and our land out there, the credits that we have out there in Woolsey Wet Prairie, aren't even on the market. And they need to be sold so we can use that money and continue that. It's not just trees we need to worry about, it's our whole ecosystem, and that's part of this comprehensive sustainability. It's not just energy efficiency, it's not just trees, it's not just food, it's wetland, it's our atmosphere, it's carbon reduction, it's all of it put together, because if you just look at one aspect of it and just focus on one aspect and the other 10 aspects aren't addressed, then we're not going to make the kind of headway that we need to. And once Fayetteville develops a comprehensive sustainability program, take it to the way to the next level, then we'll begin again to be a leader in the nation. And Fayetteville, Arkansas will continue to attract the people who are concerned about sustainability, concerned about the arts, and concerned about technology, and that's going to help ensure our future.
Thank you.
Well, I'd like for you to repeat that question. We went from planting trees to the wetlands. Would you?
Fayetteville has long been identified as a community interested in trees and forests.
Absolutely.
While we're planting many trees each year, many do not survive. Do you have a plan to increase the survival of trees planted? And do you have a plan to increase the total urban tree canopy of Fayetteville, which is well below the national average of 35%?
Absolutely. And we are once again one of the Tree City USA awards recipients, and we value our trees. Let me tell you about the trees. When we had that ice storm, all the tops from all those trees, you know what we could have done? We could have burned them like everybody else did in the region, but we didn't burn them. We mulched them and reused those tree tops. We value the trees in this city. I do. I try to save every tree that I possibly can. Now, I started a program when I ran for this office, which is the mayor's urban forest and prairie plantings. First of all, in Wilson Springs, if we had the sold it to begin with, we wouldn't have to be worrying about replanting it. I didn't vote to sell that piece of property, but it got sold. But that's just some of the most beautiful wetlands and one of the best in the state. And we sold that, and now you got houses sitting there where we should have been able to preserve those wetlands. But anyway, we plant the trees, and we got an award from American Bloom last year, ground cover and plantings, and it was a great award because of the trees that we are planting. We go back to the parks, and instead of doing all the grass, what I like to do is see us plant it back in trees and begin to eliminate a lot of the grass from the parks. And we are on that program right now. I've been on it since 2009. We're replacing the grass, but you have to use mowers and stuff. Creates the emissions that goes into the atmosphere, the CO2 emissions. And we put in place of that community gardens, Arkansas prairie grasses that we've lost and trees. So we value the trees, we value the wetlands, and the reason we have not sold those wetlands out there at the Wilson Springs area is because the market has not been good enough to do that. When it gets to a certain point, you don't want to put those out on the market for nothing. You need to have a good, solid market for those. Dave Jurgens has been working on that, and I think we're going to be able to put those on the market, but you just don't want to put them on the market right now that I've been advised. So we have it.
They're not even advertised for sale. There's a Wetland Mitigation Bank website, the State Department of Wetland, Arkansas Department of Environmental Quality, and they're not even on the market. You set the price, you don't have to take just whatever's offered. But if somebody needed to have them, we're some of the only wetlands in this region, so if they need to buy within the region, they can't go to North Dakota and buy wetlands, they need to buy within the region. They don't even know there's wetland credits. If they aren't buying the wetlands stay ours, they're just buying credits. We would get the money and then buy more land, develop that, get more credits, buy more land. The land stays ours, we're just selling the credit. And I think that's important for us to do.
Dave Jurgens told me that they are advertised, that they know that they are on the market, so I don't know. I'm just telling you what he told me.